Side with Joyce. Let's talk.
Think I left my sweater back at your house. Bluffing, I just wanna keep you around. Could we pour up something we can barely pronounce? It was difficult to say I love you out loud. Been a minute since I went and took the love route, but you visit and you kiss away my self-doubt. Any closest to the sidewalk when we go out, you see me in everything you do, how you call my name. Sunday afternoon, come and make it rain. Let the flowers bloom, ease my pain. Always tell the truth, can you answer me? Yeah. What is it you see? What is it you see? Tell me, why do you believe in me? Would you keep your schedule free for me? I love it, hear you pleasing me. Go on, get deep for me. This kind of love is free in me. Go on, I'ma listen, you can speak to me. Tell me what it is you need from me. In any other universe I'd find you. I'm falling, you're my favorite thing to cling to. You love me with my past, but I can't undo my future sin. Everything you do, how you call my name. Sunday afternoon, come and make it rain. Let the flowers bloom, ease my pain. Always tell the truth, can you answer me? Yeah. What is it you see? What is it you see? Tell me, why do you believe in? Why do you believe? Would you keep your schedule free for me? I love it, hear you pleasing me. Go on, get deep for me. This kind of love is free. This kind of love is free. I wanna see you can speak to me. Tell me what it is you need from me. What is it you see in me? Tell me, why do you believe in me? Why do you believe? Would you keep your schedule free for me? I love it, hear you pleasing me. Go on, get deep for me. This kind of love is free in me. Go on, I'ma listen, you can speak to me. You can speak, tell me what it is you need from me.
So let's pick up this gist from somewhere, anywhere that can take us somewhere further. So now, the National Film and Video Censors Board turned up in the news, I think about a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. Now, this is a warning that it put out to the public, and I'll read that in your hearing. And it's very brief, so I'll run through what I think is the gist of the matter. The attention of the National Film and Video Censors Board has been drawn to the activities of some scrupulous filmmakers, content creators who are clearly flouting the provisions of the country's law with impunity by the production, promotion, distribution, and streaming of prohibited and unapproved contents, especially same-sex content on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and other online platforms. Filmmakers, content creators should be reminded it is an offense to directly or indirectly make public show in bracket exhibition of same-sex relationship in Nigeria. It's also an offense to distribute or exhibit any film or video content, including skits and musical videos, on any platforms without recourse to the National Film and Video Censors Board for classification. The board therefore wishes to state categorically that we are working with relevant security agencies to track the individuals and production companies involved, and will stop at nothing to make sure they face the full wrath of the law. Management, the National Film and Video Censors Board. All right. So already, just from that, I think I'm coming up with the kinds of content. And so the thing with the liberal world is anything can be content. Unfortunately, the Piper has global news, owns global news distribution, and can or has been promoting a liberal world where everything can be anything. I mean, it's liberal. The whole concept of freedom appears to not necessarily observe any necessary boundaries. And at least even yourselves, you have adopted phrases like, when anybody can do what they like as long as they're not hurting anybody. So let's see what hurt can really be in actual definition. So it's as though we can say hurt can be defined as something that could physically aim to induce or inflict pain on someone else. But I don't know whether you think that there is an immaterial aspect to hurting. So that's something I'm going to leave you with in a moment. So there is the content and the kinds of content on social media. There is also the possibility that the moment you infringe on it, you can impinge on creativity, and even you can impinge on freedom. So there's that possibility. But then the communicator or the notice says, if you're going to post, don't post same-sex content. But if you're going to do it, you have to at least first approach the board to categorize it. I'm not even sure what that says or what that is supposed to mean in one way or the other. But of course, your contribution to this is something that I'm looking forward to having. And then I want to highlight something that emerged in 2012. 2012, it was said that some particular law emerged in order to regulate. Let me read it. No, pardon me. This is actually for 2024. Let me go to 2024 first. February 2024. CAC says content creators must register to pay tax. Now, that's a lateral aspect of this conversation, where content creators have to register to pay tax. And I want to put that in your hearing because I also would like to get your feedback on that. Corporate Affairs Commission has urged social media content creators, Instagram users, and TikTok users with large followers to register their business with the commission in accordance with the Company and Allied Matters Act of 2020. Okay. Let me see. What else is necessary information to give to you? This will expand the tax net. Okay, so the purpose of this is to expand the tax net, encourage businesses, create more jobs for Nigerians. Okay, you kind of get that one. I think I want to leave that one there. I want to go to 2012 and see what the news reported 2012. And then open up the telephone lines. Okay. Let's see. Okay, no. I can't quite lay my hands on it because something is wrong with my internet here. But let's just get into the heart of the matter. Content regulation. That's a good place to start. I'm going to inject the other aspect of the gist as the conversation continues. 0201 2770 993, 0201 2771 993, 0201 2772 993, 0201 2773 993, and on WhatsApp 080 9597-5805 on WhatsApp. Okay, so here is a very vague description of what is. I don't even think I need to describe it because you're either already in it, you have some affinity to it, you have children who are in it, or maybe you are the youth who, in the absence of finding yourself a job, you have become an influencer. So we're in a world where there are now careers people are making for themselves, including just being agent provocateur. You just intentionally become sensational. You pick on not so purposeful conversations to have because it's going to stir a reaction. Like, people have emerged out of nothingness into notoriety just from doing crazy stuff on social media. I remember someone said to me, if I could give the world a sex video, I could really go from this to God alone knows what. But for sure, prominence is the goal. And maybe, I could make some money from that. I can't tell you how many people have asked me to give the world a sex video. Or at least just do something unusual. Like, okay, probably I should consider that. Okay, so the regulation of social media. Some of you think social media could hurt. Well, at least we've had this conversation, but in a different regard, where we thought, well, there's a way social media can hurt developing minds. But there is even also the developed minds and what they're consuming on social media. Whether it's your fear, your concern, or maybe you're just sick of some of the contents you see on social media, the question is, do you think social media content should be regulated? Good. Let's talk. And then this whole issue of social media paying tax, I think every young person that has run that idea in my hearing is opposed to it they feel, why should they be paying tax when others who have been paying tax have no benefit from the government for the tax that they have paid? And this is another means for the government to exploit the youth, when the youth are the ones who toil and strive to make something of themselves, and the government just takes and doesn't give back. So I want to know what your reaction to that is. Let's begin. Hey, how are you?
Sister, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Sister, I name you.
What's your name, please? Could you tell us your name, please, before we
my name is Professor without research, Comrade Koboko Ikechukwu from Otapa.
Okay, good.
Sister, may God bless you, because I was waiting for you to clarify us the type of content creation. Now you came with the censor board. Let them face their producers. Sister, any further regulation of social media is a narcissistic narcissism, is an oligarchicated oligarchy. This is not our problem. If I show off my tail leg or my beard or how I'm doing exercise, post up, if the person don't like it, I'll make you tune off or make him tune to email video or do that video. So government should not tamper our social media content. You know, contain them. The Aquaco, like Mohammed, like the media, 2095 million. That's what they don't do. That's what they say. Let them leave us. Let them leave any social media content. It's not our problem.
Yeah, but
let them regulate imports, clearance. Let them regulate import duty. Let them regulate building factories. Let them regulate bringing down food stuff. Let them regulate. Let them regulate and stop the gate food that we want to bring that we cannot replant. Let them not touch them. Let them not touch Twitter. No system. No, make them not touch them. Help it them. It's not our problem.
All right.
They are diversionary and divisional manipulators. Nigeria government is a divisional manipulator.
All right. Thank you. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Remember, you have to pay attention to, at least from the Nigeria Film or National Film Video Census Board, they highlighted one particular concern. But I guess this is actually a broad statement to accommodate every other person who will be posted on social media. But let me get your feedback on this one. Hello.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling.
Jonathan.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Now, about the content creator, about the tax issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to know if these kid creators are making money. It's primarily and it's basic that they must pay tax. That is clear. And it's a conventional rule worldwide. Whether our president or our leadership are judiciously spending the tax that we pay, which I know they don't, is another issue. And as citizens of this country, it's better we be told and be aware that we have a right to sue them. It's just that, as it were, we are close to nothing as citizens in this country.
So I'm trying to make sense of your commentary. You're
now,
saying...
what I'm trying to say is this. Tax is a conventional rule, whether your leadership spend the money judiciously or not. Now, what I'm also trying to say is this. As a citizens, we have the right to sue them if they don't spend that money judiciously.
I mean, that's clear, but you also... So what do you say for the arguments that because the government has not been very, very efficient with the utilization of taxes paid?
They have not.
Yeah, should people continue to pay knowing that it's probably getting diverted, it's not being used properly? That's what I'm asking you.
So as citizens, we cannot say because they are not spending it judiciously.
Oh, we shouldn't pay. All right, okay, good then. That's
you
clear.
Understand? That's what I'm trying to say. And if they don't spend it judiciously, as citizens, we have the right to sue them.
But do you think you may be successful
as citizens in this country? We are close to nothing.
Yeah, so I'm struggling with where to categorize your statement. Should they do or should they don't? It's like you're neither here nor there. I'm really...
No, I've made myself clear. They must pay tax.
Okay, good. So that's then ended there. But if you say that you're close to nothing, sue them to court, but you know you're nothing, it's like, why are you saying you're nothing if you know that nothing is good?
Because they don't classify us as citizens.
So regardless, people should pay taxes even though it's not being used. Thank you very much for calling.
The conventional rule.
Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate. Hey, welcome to the show. How are you? The regulation of social media. What do you think?
The other man on the line, I'm calling from Ekwe.
Thank you very much for calling.
they should pay tax. You can't have a woman who goes to the market, with a wedu worth 500 naira, pay tax. And then a guy who probably creates content, that earns him a million, him or her a million naira, not pay tax in the, I don't know the kind of excuse they are going to give.
Okay.
It's unfortunate we don't have government, that is using our money wisely. But if you create that loophole, a day is going to come that we'll have a government, that is going to use our money wisely.
Okay.
And the government is not going to have the money. That is on one hand. Talking about regulation, you see, the media, the social media platform has been a big, tool that can control, it can make or mar a society. Uncle Jimmy was talking about a story this morning of, him and Sheriff, we are talking about a story of some people who are trying to create a prank or what have you, that a lady jumped out, from a keke and lost her life, in the name of prank. So you can't tell me that government shouldn't regulate some of this content that they create, because we need to reshape our society positively. And in terms of reshaping the society positively, you can't leave that kind of platform, for people to do it anyhow. So I will go for positive regulation.
Okay. Is it possible to shape society without necessarily being like ethical people ourselves? Now, I'm off on a break, and I want to leave you with that thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably try and call back.
Yeah, you call me back. So, Lagos, think about it. The last caller is saying something that I think is really worth looking at again. The regulation of the society. But are we moral enough, ethical enough to regulate society? I mean, it's one thing to say it, but are we that sort of people who hold ourselves to ethical standards as individuals before we apply what we know to society? We're off on a break. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls, introducing the first of its kind in Nigeria.
the first radio just for kids. It's here at 101.7 Kids FM.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be fun for kids on your airwaves 24/7.
Talking about from exciting games
Check.
to juicy gist
Double check.
and great music.
Super check.
All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today and stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
You can also follow us on all socials at kidsfm.ng and stand a chance to be one of the super kids.
On 101.7 Kids FM. Remember, it's no dull moments on Kids FM.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Talking about regulating social media and how far this can go, well, I want to quickly joggle your memory. About a few months ago, and I think he had been at it for quite a while, there is this very popular cross-dresser on social media who claimed to be prettier than women, who did show off his wealth, and he bragged about it. Now he's behind bars for, I hear, abuse of Naira. Yeah, but what isn't clear, which he hasn't necessarily admitted openly, is whether he has inverted his sexuality or not. But he does quite appear, and at least he displays this character of someone who has inverted his sexuality. And if your ears are anywhere around the ground of social media, he had on several occasions bragged about the fact that he couldn't be arrested for what he was doing. One would be because his boyfriends, according to him, are very notable people. So if you say regulate society, what exactly could you be referring to? Because if, say, this particular warning from the Film Video Censors Board says that you cannot openly promote same-sex. Let's take that line again. Where is it, please? Okay. Filmmakers, content creators should be reminded that it's an offense to directly or indirectly make public exhibition of same-sex relationship in Nigeria. It's as though don't make it public, but it can go undercover. You kind of get the idea. And then again, it really takes, I don't know, I would even say not necessarily so possible except you become another kind of religious. Maybe like you see how the Middle East is, you see how the Middle East is where because of their religion, they're highly conservative. So you really don't know what's happening under the covers. Now, in the Middle East, you can't quite do some things that you do here. In fact, Dubai only came around the corner a few years ago because they pretty much adopted a European model or a foreign model to the world. Other than that, everybody else is highly. I was in what country was that? I can't remember. I was somewhere. I was in one country, and I met two sisters. They are from Oman, and we did some touring together. And so yeah, I have a camera, so sometimes I'll just take pictures, and I took pictures of them. And they said to me that I couldn't post it on social media. And I said, why? They say, well, in our culture, we don't quite do these things that, the world does, like posting. And I'm like, wait, I can't post it on social media? He's like, no, I can't post it. And I said to them, you're not on social media? They're like, no, they're not on social media. And I'm like, but you're traveling. And they said to me that their father has only become a little more relaxed, and he thinks he wants his daughters to be exposed and see the world, that usually you're not supposed to travel alone. But their father has adopted a more liberal point of view to the world and kind of encourages them to travel the world, meet people. But there's so many things they can't do. So they have to cover their hair. They can't be on social media. They can't drink alcohol. They gave me like a long list of things they couldn't do. So I see that the Middle East has like a different template. Yeah. So in Nigeria, if you're going to regulate social media, how are we going to achieve it? And are we achieving a moral aim or what looks like a moral society? It just looks like it, but it's not. So I kind of know you're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, and the person I was referring to is Bob Risky. Exactly. You see how he displayed it and nothing really happened to him. And he bragged about it for the longest time. Until eventually they found a reason to pin something on him. And they said he was mutilating the Naira and put him behind bars. So when we come back, I'm getting your view on that. It's 1 p.m.
It's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you are listening to the news update. The Lagos State Parking Authority says it will no longer tolerate unauthorized individuals soliciting parking fees in the state. The agency is urging the public to report such persons to relevant authorities. The general manager of LASPA, Adebisi Adilabu, gave the warning in a statement in Lagos. She said that unauthorized parking facilities and unapproved road sections for parking not only endangered public safety but hindered the state's efforts in traffic management. On the impact of uncoordinated parking on traffic flow, Adelabu noted that converting unapproved road sections into makeshift parking areas was illegal. Meanwhile, the federal government has paid a total of $850 million in debts owed to European airlines. The European Union ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, Samuela Isopi, revealed this at the 9th edition of the Nigeria-EU Business Forum in Abuja on Tuesday. She commended the government for its intervention in clearing the backlog, as well as the removal of foreign exchange restrictions on the import of 43 items. Isopi said Nigeria remains the EU's largest trading partner, with about 35 billion euros in trade relations in 2023. 2 cases of cholera have been confirmed in Kogi State. The 2 cases were detected in Lokoja and Omala local government areas. The confirmation was contained in a statement issued on Tuesday by the Public Relations Officer of the State's Ministry of Health, Dorothy Onoja. The state government has constituted a cholera response team that will investigate reported cases, collect samples, and administer appropriate treatment. A second Reform UK candidate has defected to the Conservatives, saying the vast majority of Reform candidates are racist and bigoted. Georgie David is standing in West Ham, and Beckton says that she doubts that Reform's senior leadership is not racist, but says she does not want to be directly associated with the candidates. Reform Chairman Richard Tice accuses the Conservatives of dirty tricks, saying they are offering candidates jobs and safe seats to defect. Earlier, Rishi Sunak defended his election campaign and denied he has given up on a Conservative victory. And a deadly hurricane, which has been tearing through the Caribbean, is intensifying as it moves towards Jamaica. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 5 storm, meaning its winds and storm surges could prove catastrophic. The storm made landfall on Monday on Carriacou, an island which is part of Grenada. So far, there are reports of 2 people dead as a result of the storm, 1 in Grenada and 1 in St. Vincent. That's the news update. You are listening to The Sunny Side with Joyce on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Yvonne Ohaifo.
You are listening to Open Thought on The Sunny Side with Joyce. Let's talk.
All right, so there's a message here, and I want to read it. It goes, Joyce, this conversation that you have brought up, to be honest with you, I think it makes sense for us to be able to regulate social media, but unfortunately, Nigerians are fun seekers. Anything, believe me, anything at all that's categorized as fun is something a Nigerian will consume. I do not think we may be able to manage what social media should be for us as a nation, because if it's not coming from Nigeria, it will be coming from other places in the world. The boundlessness of social media does not permit anyone, except you are disciplined and have your own way of sieving through information. You're ultimately incapable of knowing what or knowing how to choose what good media is for you. Interesting conversation. Well, thank you very much for calling. His name is Martins. I do appreciate your message. Nigerians are fun sickers. All right, Skype, I'm with you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Okay, do I have to wait? Hi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, I can. I'm with you. Thank you very much for calling.
Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Christopher, calling from Switzerland.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you. I want to corroborate your story with the Arab girls that over here, a lot of them come over for winter holiday to use the Alps. You understand?
Yeah.
And because I work in retail, yeah, whenever they come in to shop in one of those luxury shops which I work in, they are always with bodyguards, always with men around them. They can never go alone, even though maybe back in their country, you know, the veil they put on their face, though they can't put it on in Switzerland because of the law there, yeah, but they still have this control. Their men have to be with them. Even their mother, the kids, and everybody going out, coming. Whenever they come shopping, there's always a man with them. So I think what's acceptable in one part of the world is not really acceptable on the other part of the world. You understand?
Yeah.
For example, China now, they have regulation over social media. For example, all these ones we consume in Nigeria, some of them are not there. They have their own different types of social media thing over there. So I think we've taken a lot from the Western culture that is eroding our own personal culture here.
Do we have our own personal culture? Because that's also something that's fundamental, because when what is our own? Have we ever had our own? Do we have something like that?
Yes, let's go back to history. Sorry, I'm not going to take too long. Before we had the colonial masters coming into the country, we had our own. Even Christianity, Islam is a foreign culture that came in. You understand? And a lot of things we taken from the Western world, we don't regulate it when they come to Nigeria. For example, like a case of BBL, LGBTQ, and all those things. Yeah, Russia has laws against those things. You understand?
Okay.
And I don't know why we can't create strong laws in Nigeria to regulate those things, because I don't know if Yoruba culture accepts that, Igbo or Hausa culture. So we have our own culture, but we've been eroded by foreign culture that we take in without regulations.
So you think we should regulate, and it would be to our advantage if we succeed in regulating the content in our media sphere?
Definitely, because information is a new tool that people use to control others. I will say it that way. I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah, I totally do. But China's a communist society, and that's also why, for example, in China, anybody with half a brain doesn't watch television because they know it's propaganda.
Right. Interestingly, if you want security, you have to give some part of your freedom out.
Yeah, but that's deceptive. That's a deception.
Well, deception.
Those who take power away from you markets this very thing you have said to me.
Well, there's a reason why we have laws in the world, right? Otherwise, there'll be anarchy. You understand?
Yeah.
There are always laws. We have it here and there. You understand? Otherwise, people can just go out, kill this and do that, and
But
yeah,
you see,
that's
don't you think it would take a moral people to create a moral society? Can a not so moral people create a moral society? That's the real McCoy.
Interestingly, the world is based on yin yang theory. I don't know if you know that, the good and the bad. You understand?
So what's your point?
My point is, we need to find a way to morally. The bad are always there. It will always be there.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Okay.
All right. I mean, I get it. We're going to hear other people and hear what they have to say. By the way, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. If you have just tuned in, we're talking about regulating social media content in Nigeria. Can we even be successful to fully implement a kind of regulation that would remove or at least prevent what's not good for public consumption and bring out or release what's good for public consumption? This one goes, hello, Joyce. My name's Friday. About the Video Censors Board, I believe they slept and missed it in carrying out their obligations. There are different Nollywood movies of same sex on different social media platforms. Pieces of Love is a same-sex Nollywood movie in Nigeria. Thank you, Joyce. Okay, I've not seen it. Okay. Okay, well, that was particularly... Oh, sure. Yeah, maybe they missed it. Hello, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very good, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. So good to have you. Welcome. You tell us
Yeah,
your name.
I'm going to what you're saying about regulation.
Tell us your name real quick, just so that we can follow you.
My name is Basti. I'm calling from Perspective.
Good.
But right now, right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And, we have to go back to what really is our culture. And if you look at Nigeria, phenomenally, we are not a nation. And we are a country made up of diverse culture and traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And so the religion that we even have is a borrowed one. It's not even our culture. I remember my mother told me when she was getting married, I'm from Akwa Ibom State, she had, because to show forth her virginity, she had to dance from her father's house to the market square and back.
Naked?
Naked. Yeah,
no way. No. I'm
telling you.
What?
I'm telling you. You could check it out. So this was our culture. And if you look at South Africa, the thing we see on social media, the Zulu tribe, their culture is that the women to show forth their virginity by becoming nude and attend certain festival. Do you understand?
What?
So Nigeria is a diverse culture. And so since we are different nations in one country, we have to look at our diversity before we can really say, this is our culture, this is what we practice, this is what an Akwa Ibom man will practice, this is what an Igbo man will practice, this is what an Hausa man will practice, this is what a Yoruba man will practice. What is the moral code for us before the introduction of Christianity or Muslims? Because if you look at those nations that are trying to compare to the ancient countries, they have one language and they have this culture that is, one culture. I don't really know much about it, but in our own place right here, we have so many cultures and we don't really know which one to upheld. If you want to talk about a polygamy now, some people will say that you're morally wrong. That how can you have 2 wives or 3 wives? And these same people that have more than 1 wife, are proponents of morals. But you can see that is like a perversion of their sexuality, whichever way we're going to look at it. So I personally, I don't know how we're going to go about it in Nigeria to really say, if we want to promote Christian culture, fine. If we want to promote the Muslim, the Islamic culture, let us know. If we want to promote our own indigenous culture, is on that, on that avenue that cannot look at. This is our culture. But since we don't have anyone that can say, this is who we are, this is what we are after, this is our code, we are still going to be left in limbo.
Let me ask you. You said your mom
All right.
had to walk from her father's house to the market naked at night?
Yes.
Or what was the
Yes.
objective of it? Is it to... What was
That was the
purpose?
culture, to
Yeah,
show
but-
her that she was a virgin.
To show
Yeah.
she was a virgin.
Yes, the virgin. She got married as a virgin.
And that's your mom. So this is probably
That's
like
my mom,
what,
yeah.
70s or 70s? Or
No, this
50s?
was in the 60s, yeah.
In the 60s.
I'm about 52 years, so my mom is late right now.
Now I can imagine if someone said that was their culture and did a video of something like that and put it up on social media.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. That would be a violation of rights on every level.
Yes, but it still happens in other places. You have people that in our culture, if you go visit your friend, they give you their wife to spend the night with her as the sound of your bond of friendship with him.
Y'all are wild.
Have you heard about that?
Y'all are wild. I've heard it. Y'all are wild.
You've heard it.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's crazy.
Like
so what are we adopting? Are we adopting the Christian stand or the Muslim stand or our own tradition based on our different ethnic groups? So it's going to be a wild goose chase. Yeah.
It's going to be a wild goose chase. Thank you so much for calling.
right,
I do
all right.
appreciate it. Thank you. That was very, very, very insightful, really. Very insightful for what cultures can be and how our differences may or may not help in the actualization of regulating social media. You're now in the new world with something called social media is a projection or the window into the future. Welcome to Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Yeah. Wow.
My name is Akin Soji.
Okay.
Calling from Simolu, Lagos.
Great. Good to have you. Thank you so much for calling.
All right. I would like to start by saying it is a good thing to regulate the social media here.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening or coming to pass in a Nigeria of ours, where some animals are more bigger
equal
and
than others. Yeah.
Why do I say so? If the Nigerian government wants to come after Bobrisky for being a cross-dresser, it will have been good if he is being nailed because of that. That way, we are practicing the right thing. How do I mean? Going through a camouflage of putting him behind bars because of Naira temperament,
mutilation,
not doing it the right way.
Yeah, abusing the Naira.
To put him behind bars. Whereas his major offense is because he's a cross-dresser or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but we're not told that that's a major offense. Like, he has been that for the longest time and has bragged about it.
Yeah, I know, but deep down, that is not the sentence given. But deep down, we know that the Kubanashi priest and others that were arranged after her, after him rather.
Yeah.
After him rather, have been released and have been given a particular amount of money to pay as fine.
A fine, okay.
Yeah. So, and he is behind bars. That way, I want to believe in discipline, in managerial, what I did, I studied a little bit.
Okay.
There is this thing we call the red hot stove rule. The red hot stove rule indicates that the stove in the kitchen does not know the mother, that is the wife in the house or the owner of the house. Once you place your hand on the red hot stove, it burns, regardless of who is touching it.
Okay.
If you are cooking and you touch your stove, despite the fact that the burner is yours for the past how many years, it burns immediately. When you touch it, it burns you. Once we have this kind of regulation in place, directing the right sense of discipline in the right area at the right moment, which is instantaneous, we have a better society. Another thing, why I now use a Bobrisky case as a reference is that same way now they want to regulate the social media. That is the same way when the rules and regulations are out, you will realize that some animals, let me put it that way, will be more greater than others. It will be a selective judgment afterwards. And that way, we cannot have the reason as to why this social media regulation is in place in the first place. That is one. Two, which culture are we even practicing? I was watching a video of a king in Oyo State that just came back from Hajj that says that all kings in Lagos, so they don't know what they are doing, no. All kings in Yoruba, that they are serving or worshipping idols, they don't know what they are doing, no. And this Yoruba idol or what have you, I am a Christian anyway, or I want to see it as culture. It is what we ought to have preserved to make the society and retain our little sense of culture. Now, one of them is saying that since you are still doing that thing, you are not there. What we embrace here in the South, when you see someone who is below 18 getting married, we raise our voices that it is underage. Whereas in the North, it is something that they embrace. Which of the culture now? Which of the culture now do we want to embrace? Which of it are we going to settle down? Are we going to have a conference to call all cultures and diversities and ethics, ethos, disciplines, and everything together to now arrive at one? Which of it? That is the problem now. What you want to nail me for might be something that is attainable and operational in another society. Thank you for having me this afternoon.
Like, that was something. Thank you so much for calling. It's like the guy who says his mother had to walk naked just to prove that she was a virgin. And I remember that would usually be something you do to someone you wanted to embarrass. That would usually be something you would do that to someone you were trying to shame in a public square. I mean, the whole idea of stripping a person of their covering in itself is just a form of dehumanization. But in that culture, it's not. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Oh, Skype. Just a minute, please, if you're on Skype.
My name is Olumuyiwa.
I apologize. Skype, I beg you, please, just wait for me. Thank you so much, Skype. Thank you very much for your understanding. Muyiwa, please go ahead.
Okay, I won't waste your time because of your boyfriend on the cloud.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Nigeria, you guys don't start again, Abi. Make the regulator, not so with the shout, remove subsidy. Now, the government that does not care for you want to control what you are doing on the internet and you are dancing skelewu with it. The government that lack moral. You know, before the election, they come that they want to regulate it, we fought it. Now you, Nigeria, you're not telling them regulate it. And you didn't ask them, what type of regulation do you want to bring before us? Even the whole diet of Africa, we don't have Facebook, social media that can connect all of us. And the one way Oyibo give you, your government want to make sure when they stole billions, you can't talk about it. Say, yeah, do am. In conclusion, one of my business, I operate POS. Now they say 109 million POS agents should go and register. And the least money, actually I registered 25,000. So the CAC collected 10,000. Less times 10,000 by 109 million. Government has made over 1 trillion naira. So what did they do with the money? We are not asking. We now say, Shebi Yalata to they pay. Make people on the social pay. Nigeria, you never wake up. Good morning. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling. Good afternoon. Skype, thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate it.
Hey, Joyce. How you doing?
Good. Thank you very much for calling.
I think I would want to be anonymous calling from Australia.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I would say I am in full support of the regulation. And I just want to be clear, I don't mean regulation of free speech or when it has to do with will I say sharing information about people in order to bring the identity. I'm regarding to regulation of the content and also things being shared on social media. Okay. I would say will greatly, and greatly is me putting it mildly, will greatly eroded our trust and value system. And I don't know if you notice, still, despite the time difference between Nigeria and my location, I still go back to you, listen to Uncle Jimmy's analysis on a daily basis, and there's hardly any day he doesn't talk about the fact that our value system is being eroded, because now we're just receptive to the West and every other culture, and most of these narratives they keep pushing is just to ensure that there is stability in most of the other region, while they take advantage of those regions that is in instability. My father was born in the 50s, and he reminds me of a time where a farmer drops their produce on the road. They don't have to, they just put the price that they want for it, and the person comes, pick and drops the money. no security, no. That is when we had value. We were a country where even before the British had street lights, we already used palm oil in the south, in the Benin Kingdom as street light. Even before the discovery of street lights in the West, we had a system where even the women are being promoted. You hear of the northern part where they talk of Queen Amina, that she was a ruler at the same time she was a warrior.
Okay.
So it's not a situation whereby every culture they will say, oh, or every rule they say, oh, the women is being segregated. We also still value our women. My daughter is actually named after Queen Idia of the Benin Kingdom, which she has been passed down the line because of her wisdom and also the level at which she ruled the Benin Kingdom. So all through history in Nigeria, there are still bad examples, but I would say there are still also good examples of our own history. And thus far, it's only proven that, okay, we had a very good culture, we had a very good identity, a very strong identity before the West actually came in.
Okay.
And this same tool is what was used by the West, especially the US, to destroy USSR. When the USSR was fighting a physical battle, but they were fighting let's say a war of value based on using Hollywood and also their music and other influence, which, as usual, the USSR eventually lost. And putting into focus the women from the Arab region, I would say they are doing a perfectly good job, in the sense that being a Christian, there is a reason why the Bible says the man should love his wife, and for the wife should respect or honor the husband. The Bible do not say the woman should love. Wait,
where are you going? That's a very narrow interpretation, though. But yeah, where are you going with that? Because I was hoping that we would talk about creativity and the regulation of social media space and how that could impinge on creativity, free speech. But now you're talking about something else, so it's lost on me, if you don't mind.
Okay, what I'm saying is that basically what I'm trying to say is that a man and a woman,
pardon me,
are different.
I sincerely do apologize, please. I want to quickly go off on a break, and then when I come back, you're going to have to continue your thought, all right?
Okay.
Okay, good. Isn't it interesting how broad the concept of regulating information on social media goes? There's no telling how far or how sideways an opinion can swing. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. My name's Joyce. It's Open Thought Tuesday.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
We go beyond the headlines and into the real stories shaping our world.
Why pay more than $200 million to have 1,000 Kenyan soldiers come to Haiti when we could use that money to train the police?
What you've done with your grief is actually to spread it and give it and turn it into the love.
This served Netanyahu because he didn't think Hamas would ever be a serious military threat.
Congo is a country with so much wealth. The people have been fighting to regain control.
From the corridors of power to the front lines of change, Borderline brings you in with analysis of the issues.
The U.S. has power over them. Most of them will steal money from Haiti and invest in the U.S.
People who support Sonko and Jumai 5, over half of them don't have a voter's card.
Sounds like Nigeria.
Join Ireti Bakari Yusuf on Borderlines as she engages with policymakers and thought leaders,
giving you perspectives and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Be part of the conversation. Join us live.
Your voice matters on Borderlines as we explore the complexities.
Every Friday at 4 p.m.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay informed, stay engaged.
Step into the conversation.
The Impact Debate Tournament, the Nationals, is coming. August 12th in Lagos. Witness the brightest minds from across the country in a battle of intellect and eloquence.
Have you ever wondered if controlling resources will be the key to dismantling?
Yes, a child has not been properly academically satisfied.
Has such person not also get experience, like your fifth point?
Experience fierce competition.
Peace cannot be kept by force. It's not because there's natural resources there.
Persuasive arguments.
I believe that through a balanced approach to religion and education.
Don't you think that such a person is old enough to decide?
And innovative thinking.
By 1985, the poverty level was below 46%.
If they don't have money for tuition, are you saying they are not going to be accountable?
Whether you're a debater or a spectator, mark your calendars for August 12, 2024. I beg to differ. The Nationals in Lagos, Nigeria. Get ready to be part of history. For sponsorship and other inquiries, call Lagos Larry Griffin 0706 827 1163, Shola Kolade 0907 173 3835, or send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I beg to differ students' debates competition, the Tournament of Champions.
.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. Yes, star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. That is the number that is standing between you and your money today, because we have 150,000 naira going out just today. Now, if you are not into your USSD codes, they are too cumbersome, too heavy for you to listen to or even hear or replicate. You could go to the website at www.oneplay.ng. Yes, 1play.ng, and select Nigeria Info as your station. And with 500 naira, your ticket will be in the draws. Note, you must select Nigeria Info as your radio station if you want our own money. Now, the more you play, the more your chances of winning. Now, people will be winning money on, What's Up Lagos. You'll be getting money on this show. You'll also be getting money later in the day on Game On, as well as Football Frenzy on weekends. So money is going out every day possible. Now, there's a 500,000 naira jackpot at the end of the week for those of you who persevere through the week but do not find the luck to win the daily ones. You could end up being that guy that wins, their share of that 500,000 naira jackpot. So stay tuned and keep playing for that. That said, make sure that you are playing with only what you can afford. We're not trying to outstretch you here. Don't go chasing real money in search of the one that you are not quite sure of. Play with only what you can afford and let the algorithm do the rest. Your chances of winning are pretty much the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or you use the code star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. Make sure you're above the age of 18 while playing, and make sure that you are playing responsibly. One Play is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission. This is so you know that we are for real. We are legit. Keep playing, keep winning, and keep spreading the word.
You are listening to Open Thought on the Sunny Side with Joyce. Let's talk.
All right, so I still have a caller on Skype, but just before I go to him, who of course decides to be anonymous, there is, if you have just tuned in, that is, and I'm hoping you've not, because I've been here waiting to hear what your concerns are, or maybe even the possibility of regulating social media content. Now, it does quite appear that some of you agree or disagree with the tax aspect of creative content, or taxing of creative content creators and influencers and whatever else has emerged at the turn of the century. But there's also what else is applicable in the world of content creation itself, and whether you think we can successfully regulate it. Do you still have some information? Oh.
Indeed, I do.
Okay, but just before you go on, I wanted to share this piece of information, but I think I'm just going to have to allow you drop what you got. You can be dismissed,
Okay.
and then we're back into the conversation. So please bear with us, Lagos. There's good information here for you.
We fly in. I'm flying in with information from none other than the Jackpot Seminar. Yes, those of you who are conversant with the whole process of trying to leave the country, for study, for holiday, just to relocate, the hassles are very much well documented. They include unscrupulous travel agents. Now, if you're looking to avoid those, then you should be looking to attend the Jackpot Seminar with Uzo Dudoba. Here you'll be learning really, really valuable insights on how to make this dream of yours come true. I'm talking about learning proven strategies, getting insider tips, networking with industry leaders, as well as seasoned travel experts, as well as taking the first step in the rest of your journey to going abroad. It will be happening on the 6th of July 2024. Yes, the 6th of July 2024. Go and mark that date. You do not want to miss it. It will be happening from 12 noon. So make sure you are there on time. It's very, very important. Very important that you are there on time. It will be happening at the Creative Box Hall at Deniron Ogunsonya Shopping Mall in Surulere, Lagos. Remember, the Creative Box Hall at Adeniran Ogusonya Shopping Mall in Surulere. The access fee is 10,000 naira, and for your seat reservations and further inquiries, please contact the number at 0802 383 1303. I'll take that again, 0802 383 1303. Once again, 0802 383 1303. Hurry and secure a spot because those spots are filling up pretty fast. This event is powered by Strong Voice Media and proudly supported by Wazobia FM, Cool FM, and Nigeria Info. Note, we are not in the business of giving visas. We are simply trying to give you the tools to make your journey from here to there as in abroad. So do not forget the date. Mark it on your calendar. I'm saying it again. 6th of July 2024, and it will be happening from 12 noon. Make sure you are there prompt, and the venue is the Creative Box Hall at Deniro Ogusonya. Your gate fee is 10,000 naira. Yes, go to Adeniro Ogusonya Shopping Mall in Surulere, the Creative Box Hall. That is where it is all happening. Make sure you are there on time. Make sure you are there and you take in all that information. It will be beneficial.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. So Skype, I'm just going to need a minute from you and then come right back to you. If you have just tuned in, we're following through on this necessity, if you would regard it as such, that social media content be regulated. Trends raise critical questions about the ethical boundaries of content creation, the societal impact of sensationalism, and the psychological toll on both creators and consumers. And this is necessary to point out because I remember sometime earlier on during the course of the day, a message I received said the Nigerians are fun seekers and they would consume anything the moment you tag it as fun. And I guess anything would mean anything that even crosses their own ethical lines, their own religious persuasions, their own self standards. If it's entertainment, they're down for the taking. Okay, and then what's also necessary is the inducement of things like likes, share, following. You have to understand how these inducement practically has even in itself reshaped social media, where people are buying followers. People are doing just about anything to get people to follow them, for them to trend. People are doing anything. Take it from me. Okay, and so all of this is reshaping content and content creation strategy. You find that things that are not so intelligent are very common, and the intelligent stuff is not so common. I mean, you've even said it yourself on a number of occasions, but how you consistently consume that which is not so intelligent bits the mind. But then again, I guess this is the world that we're in, where the lines are blurred between authenticity, creativity, entertainment, exploitation. It leaves us with so much to consider, because if we think this is all fun and this freedom should be allowed, well, I also would like to ask if this freedom would in any way change morality, social standards, influence people behavior, and is there a good or a bad side to that? So I'm going back to Skype with my Skype caller.
Hey, Joyce.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you were there and you just heard the reintroduction, so I'm hoping that this really just points us in some particular direction.
Okay, I think I was already on the last point you made about the Arabs and their own culture.
Okay.
And all I wanted to point out was that, okay, every tribe, be it maybe the North or those in the Hausas or those in the South, or be it man or woman, we all have our individual roles to play in terms of strengths and weaknesses and ways to contribute. And a situation whereby one is trying to overshadow the other in terms of trying to outdo in an area they are not. Those things like that are actually leading to conflict, and that is also part of what is contributing into the degradation of our own value as a country. Because, for example, regardless of how much money maybe an Igbo man has, he can never go into a suya business or bureau de change business. Same thing with an Hausa man in terms of trying to maybe go into a business in order to outdo an Igbo man. Everybody has their own area. Same thing I think applies to a man and a woman. There are areas where okay the man has a better strengths and weaknesses. I think a typical example of that is an Australian show they called the island with bear, I think grizzly, where they actually put maybe separated the men and the women on different islands and they observed how they interacted, how they, well, I say, set up their own structure in terms of trying to survive in an island without the amenities provided by modern society, and they gave opinions about.
Okay, I think I lost.
I think it's something that you should also take a look at.
Why?
Okay, and basically what I'm saying is that
Why should I take a look at it?
this right now is more of a detriment to. Well, I think it paints a picture of what is typically happening in Nigeria right now, or will I say with the African society, based on our exposure and also eroding of our own values as a people.
Okay, so that's for that reason you think we should regulate it. So a very good place to point you in would be what happened during the elections. You can see the hate statements, discrimination. Well, maybe the government would call those misinformation, disinformation that happened during the political, the election periods. Do you think Nigeria has a character to regulate media? Because I think it's one thing for you to say regulate it, but do we have the impetus? Do we have the ethics? The moral justification to regulate media or to regulate media.
Certainly, with the current government in power, I would say no, but we still have to start somewhere and somehow.
Okay, all right then,
So
got it.
we'll have to start it sooner or later. But this present government, no, I don't have faith in them because you can't give what you don't have, like I keep saying. Thank you.
I appreciate. 99.3 Nigeria info. You're on the sunny side. How are you?
Hello, Joyce.
Good afternoon. So good to have you.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon.
Tell us your name.
How are you?
I'm good.
My name
Thank
is
you.
Nenna.
Welcome, Nenna.
I think maybe I want to talk about the tax thing.
Oh, sure, please.
Because the regulation, everybody knows it won't work.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, the regulator and the regulated. Who will regulate each other?
Why? Do you think we're collectively corrupt and we don't even have any moral justification to speak of regulation given how defiled we have become?
Regulation now. Those ones they regulated. How far? Okay. Which judge will judge them when they come to court? The judge that will say that somebody is too old to lie. I beg.
Oh, okay.
And he gave judgment. In fact, you should get his name and be naming them. Anyway, see, you know Dangote, when he does this road, they give them a tax holiday.
Okay. Yeah.
No problem. So these content creators should now go to their villages and be doing their roads themselves. They should give nobody their money. So they will go on tax holiday. That's all.
Oh.
Pay tax. Do it yourself. Good afternoon.
Okay. Wow, that was something. Thank you very much. Okay. Wow. Welcome, Nigeria Info. It's Open Thought Tuesday.
It's Emmanuel calling back.
Okay.
Yeah, so you asked some question the other time. You see, we have some institutions in this country that are supposed to be above board. The NIA, even the MIA. You know, in Niger Republic, there's this tribe that has a culture of a woman marrying maybe 3 or 4 husbands. You know, somebody woke up one day, you know, and then that culture started. You know, it was not given to them by God, you know, from the creation. You know, so also in India, you know, people there saw that, okay, men are wonderful beings, so women should be paying right price, you know, to men. Yeah.
India. India. Okay.
It's direct opposite here in Nigeria, at least in some cultures in Nigeria. In the Ijaw culture, you know, a man, you know, marries a wife, you know, and buys him goods. In some area of the Ijaw culture, the woman goes and keep fish, you know, feed the family and so on. So we need to begin to make a conversation, both the leadership and the led. It's unfortunate that our leaders are not serious. So also the led. In South Africa,
the led don't want to be regulated. I think a few people suggest, well, let's be regulated, but a lot more people are saying let's not be regulated. My entire WhatsApp are people saying, well, there's no point regulating it; it's not going to succeed.
We should.
Okay.
But the fact, from the steel industry.
Is it because of the content? Is it the influence of the content? What exactly is your concern? Is it misinformation, disinformation, hate speech?
Everything. You see, we can't.
Okay, well, this one goes, cultures all over the world will be different. A lot of foreign cultures have been refined. Our sexuality have been commonized to the point we see it as taboo. Back then, there was the witch purge in Europe during the Dark Ages. They were able to grow out of that. I believe given the opportunity to run our own system and culture, we would have evolved and lived our truth instead of the borrowed culture religion we imbibed. Now, the question is, what's your own culture? Because I don't know how far back into time you would like to go. The last time you checked your culture, what did you find? Hi, Joyce, today. As it stands, we as Nigerians don't have a culture. Even the food, clothes we eat, wear these days are all borrowed, so it will be hard to control anything right now. If you go to the island, you'll see how half-naked ladies dress these days. I run an inhaling. I think, is it e-hailing you mean? Okay, but you say I run an inhaling, and I think you mean like a taxi. Okay. I have taken gay guys to gay parties many times. This happens on the island. It doesn't mean the law enforcers don't have an idea of this. Thank you. So I had a friend who studied in Abu Dhabi for, I think, about 2 years. And he would always tell me a story how in class they separate the boys from the girls. You can't mingle. And he said that he met a handful of lesbians. Abu Dhabi? He's like, yeah, but of course, it's covert, right? It can be. You shouldn't be seen or heard of as being that sort of a thing. The culture suggests that it's not allowed in that society. But he met lesbians who were from Abu Dhabi and, yeah, were under a veil. And the one time in the news, I think it was Daily Mail that published that one Arabian prince in his hotel was getting a headwork from his bodyguard, and he was going to be arrested, and he said something in the lines of, "Oh, I'm a prince, you can't do anything to me." It's like, oh, well. So I think that there are many times the world has laid down laws that they themselves have not been able to keep. But I think maybe the world is crazy and we are not. I'm assuming that there is a way we can beat the world at their own game. And regulating social media will be one way. And I've never seen a home video movie. Well, I haven't seen a home movie in a while. But people are saying that there are Nigerian-made home video movies that have a gay plot. So that's very liberal. But that's also because I think under what appears to be the facade of our collective society would be, for example, what this e-hailing driver is telling us. That is an e-hailing driver. He takes gay guys to gay parties here in Nigeria, here on the island. And of course, he wants to believe that enforcement knows about it. So maybe what enforcement can at least do, which is what they may be trying to do, is to not make it public. Now, the not making it public, does that preserve society? Can that policy preserve society? Can we win by hiding it or suppressing it, not promoting it? Can we achieve anything in that line? All right, I'm still on your messages. Skype callers, okay, hold on. I'm with you. Hello, welcome to the show, Skype caller. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. I'm Abiola. Okay. Joyce, wanting to regulate social media. I don't understand.
The content. So I think we're narrowing this down to what people really put out on social media. For example, they highlighted same-sex productions.
Joyce, it does not matter what people put there.
Oh.
It is the country that decide. For example, if you go to TikTok, I want to show off your private body. Let's say, let me just put it that way. You want to show. It won't happen on TikTok because that is how the society have regulated it in China. It is your country that we say, okay, I don't want a nude picture, and they do everything to block it. You want to put it there. Before before what is this guy that bought Elon Musk bought Twitter, nude picture was never there. It will close it. The platform of Twitter then will close it up. It was when Elon Musk bought it. If you want to watch as long as nude, sexual stuff on Twitter X now, you can do it. It is the way you develop. I don't understand. And you know something, Joyce. One thing that continues to bother my mind, and that is why sometimes, Joyce, something is wrong with the black. Something
hold
is
on a
wrong
second,
with.
though. How did you just go from content creation to black people problem?
Yeah, no, wait, listen. Let me learn. Joyce, how will somebody who is living outside the country, we saying that the thing should be regulated in Nigeria? If okay. Is it social media that force Ooni of Ife to be going from one party to another?
But he retains that right, though.
To denigrate the culture of that magnitude.
Why are you limiting his freedom? Why can't he go for a party if he wants to? He's a young guy.
No, because the way that office or the way that stool is constituted, there are so many things that king shouldn't be doing in the public.
No, but that was like the old way of doing it. He's a young
Joyce, either it is old. That is the problem we have. We want to believe that the old things are bad.
Wait, no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. No.
The other guy from Australia was telling you something.
Aren't you infringing on his freedom? And don't you think you're limiting his freedom to go to a party?
Wait. Joyce, the other guy from Australia was talking to you and was saying that we put what you want to sell on the road. You just put the price there. People come there and pick it. Why is it not possible today? We always want to say because something is of old, we want to destroy it to make a new one. Wait, Joyce. That is what we know.
I'm not saying we're destroying it. I'm not. I didn't insinuate that. I didn't say we're trying to destroy it.
Yeah, that is what we are trying to do because what we know to be of Ooni of Ife, the Onirisha we know, doesn't go to the public. The Onirisha we have always known are always private person. He comes out once in a while or whatever. He can even anytime talk and he goes back. He does not go from one party to another. That is Onirisha we have always knew. So if you want to bring civilization to it, to make it look like is anything anybody can see anywhere, then we are good for it. So we should not come and blame social media for it. Is it social media that asked the king of Initori in Ogun State to go and kneel down for a governor? Is it social media? We are just following shadows.
Can we use social media to regulate morality? But then the fundamental question there would be: can immoral people?
Joyce, that's what I'm telling you. If that is, we are chasing shadows.
Okay.
If your country, if Nigeria today want to say, okay, Facebook, Twitter, Twitter for Nigeria, Facebook for Nigeria, this for Nigeria, we don't want nude picture. We don't want sex videos. It can be done. Okay. And that's what I've told you about TikTok. Joyce, go to TikTok and you want to, if it's a female, you want to try to expose your breast, go to social media now and do it, and go to TikTok now and do it. They will just block you off.
Oh, really?
They will just block you off. And those are the you know what China is trying to do is trying to bring their own standard, against the West or against the Americans. And we are the one who decided what we put on our media space. We are the one who decided.
Yeah, but can we also decide to regulate it at this point?
Joyce, that's what I'm telling you now. You don't need to come to the public to say you want to do it.
Oh, okay.
If you want to say, okay, Facebook, we are not saying you should not be in Nigeria, but the nude part, the people coming out.
What about the same-sex part? Because apparently now,
yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay,
we never support it. Nigeria never supports same-sex marriage. It's against our law. If it is that you want to call Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, this is what I want in my country. You don't need to come and be, but because you have a hidden agenda, evil hidden agenda to cut Nigerian people, you will make it a noise. You will always make it a noise because you want to do something sinister, something evil against Nigerian people. So you want to make it a news.
That's lost on me.
If you don't want nude picture on your Facebook, Joyce, these are the things that don't need, the government don't need to come out to tell us that what. I don't know if TikTok, if TikTok, the owner of TikTok have to go to China first and tell the Chinese government and say, this my platform, I am not putting nude picture. I don't know if it goes to government to tell them that one. I don't know, but that is his policy.
All right.
So like I told you, go if those who use Twitter before it become X, go and check then when we are using it at Twitter, and go and check it now when it is at X. Go and check the difference. Before then,
yeah, but I stated it that even Elon Musk said that there would now be pornography on Twitter. He did say it actually. He tweeted it, and I said it here that there would be that there's now pornography on Twitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. In fact, Joyce, it's even
X rather.
You don't need to go to any social media to look for sexual stuff. Go to that's what I'm telling you.
All right, got it.
We can as well tell Elon Musk that the Twitter on Nigeria, we don't want this, we don't want that. But you don't come out and tell us that you want to block the way I speak. You want to block the way I tell government that government is stealing the money, and so we should not be saying that. That is what Nigerian government want to do. To want to block people from criticizing them.
Well,
and that is why we go to anybody.
But they haven't said that that's what they're doing. They're just trying to.
Joyce, I told you one thing before. I told you before I round off. I told you one thing. You need to start thinking ahead of Nigerian politicians to beat them up to their game. If we are not going to think ahead of Nigerian politicians, they will continue to destroy us. They will continue to divide us along ethnic line, religion line, tribal line. They will continue to do it, and that's what I see.
No social media regulation from your point of view.
It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Let me say, if Tinubu have not done well, let me be able to say Tinubu have not done well. If you want to remove pornography from it, that is another issue.
All right.
That's another issue. But it's not the social media. It's not a social media that asked the Kano governor, the former Kano governor, to remove Sanusi. Is it social media that asked him to remove Sanusi, even when the man have not done anything? Is it social media that is not asking them to return the man now, when the man have not even? So it is just sometimes you just leave these guys to their nonsense that they are doing in the country. They are just bringing everybody down.
Thank you.
And it's not good enough.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate. Well, this is supposed to, the entire concept of regulation is supposed to have like different faces and aspects to it. Like, say, data protection, rights protection, hate speech protection, harmful content promotion, disinformation, misinformation, online harassment, bullying, digital inclusion and accessibility, enforcement and compliance, and whatever else is not supposed to be sane for social consumption. And according to the Film and Videos Board, they say inverted sexuality, same-sex production should not be promoted. And they're warning against it. And so it kind of just broadens the conversation as to, should it be regulated? This one, Goke says social media should be regulated. Content should be regulated because many of them are causing more damage to society. Last week, a content creator posted that Olu Jacobs was dead while he was not, and the news went viral. What do you call that? Isn't that wickedness in its highest order? Anyone that makes derogatory post to dehumanize or defame or cause harm to others should be jailed. Wow. This would serve as a hard lesson to defaulters. As for taxing content creators, I don't think they should be taxed because Facebook is not a registered company in Nigeria. But however, if you want to process your registration as a content creator on Facebook so that you can be paid, then you should have to present your tax identification number to Facebook so the Nigerian government can tax Facebook content creators when they are to present their tax identification number to Facebook. So I think that's a Nigerian culture. If you say if someone puts out a defamatory comment, the person should be jailed. Well, the last few days, there's been this back and forth between someone who thought she was defamed and someone else who I'm not necessarily sure what his objectives in life is or are, but yeah. And so then again, you can see jailed in a country as Nigeria where, I mean, the law is the law, and then there are people who use the law to their advantage. Do we just go about jailing people because of something that they said? Is that a society you want to live in, you know? And how much of that is an infringement of free speech? Well, I think I understand the import, but sometimes I think that the context is so nuanced that we could be abusing power even without intending to. But I guess that's conversation for another time. This one goes, are there no regulations already, or what are they after? Well, I just read to you what their warning to the public was, particularly warning to creators and movie producers and their publication of inverted sexuality. And that's the funny thing, because you see cross-dressers who are in Nigeria, who, of course, they have not necessarily committed. So that's the thing. They say you cannot be gay in Nigeria, but there isn't necessarily any law against cross-dressing. And so when you have a cross-dresser come to public and brag about his lovers being in government and be high-powered people, and tells you how much you can't do anything to him because of who his lovers, some weird stuff, you know. But yeah, you know, I have lovers in places of power. You can't do anything to me. And it appears he's been right the whole time. In fact, he's been right up till now. Except now, well, we're told he's behind bars for something. And that's one of a few, at least, that we know. And the rest we hear is undercover. And so if the government is going to regulate it, would it take morality on the side of government to be capable of regulating? Because you would need not to be guilty of that which you are trying to prosecute. If you're in some way guilty of something similar, then can we really say we can regulate society? It doesn't appear we're clear on the answer. Yeah, but it's almost 2 p.m. and we have to be off on a break to come back to the advantages of polygamy. Look, I want to quickly apologize to everyone I'm not able to pick their call or read your message, but I think I've done a good job of trying to speak to as many people as possible and read as many messages as possible. We have to go to this other one, this thing about advantages, if there are, to polygamy. I'm going to do my best summarize the stories, well, this one particular story of the gentleman who hit his wife because she didn't want him to be married to somebody else. And he states it's within his right to be married. I want to know what the limits are. And is there fairness and justice in this one religion that women can lean on in order to have their pain, their fears allayed? Does this religion speak in favor for women? And what really is the benefit of polygamy? I've never seen a benefit, but I guess you know it and I don't. So when we come back, we'll continue.
You are listening to Open Thought on the Sunny Side with Joyce. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.